Luke, no one's really giving Melbourne much of a chance this week, but have you seen them this year?
Yeah, they're improving every year and every match. I think Roosy's got a really good structure under them now, and they're a really good pressure team, working really hard. And I guess just you can see with the way the season's panning out, if you show up not ready to play, anyone's going to beat you. So we're not penning this in as a win at the moment. We know we've got to work hard and play the full 4 quarters, which we probably haven't in the last few games.
Could be wet again. Are you going to play? Are you changing a game style or anything for, considering you were beaten in the wet here?
No, I think at times we played really well here. I think we started really well, and that was probably the thing, that at times we butchered the ball a bit and they kicked some easy goals. I think they kicked 10 goals on the turnover. So I think it's just the effort needs to stay right up for the full 4 quarters, and we know we've got to bring it right from the start, set the tone, and hopefully they'll drop off after that. But yeah, at the moment we just got to start well and keep it going.
Where were those turnovers coming from? They're obviously skill errors, but was it decision making, execution?
Yeah, a little bit of both. It was at times structures. They'd walk straight out of the stoppage and come through the middle, but also probably going in forward, we were bombing it a lot into the big blokes, and they had a spare, so they were walking it straight out. So yeah, we're working on that at training and improving that, and it's not a massive change that we need to make. It's just a little thing, a little decision making, the little decisions that we have to make, and as soon as we get them right, we should be fine.
What are your thoughts about going back to the G for the first time since the granny last year?
Yeah, we're excited to get back to the G. I think it's the home of football, and yeah, hopefully get a big crowd down there. And yeah, I know the boys love playing out there, so I'm not sure if last year's granny will give us a bit more of a drive, but most of the boys I think have forgotten about it, and we just want to win at the moment, so we need to win.
It's kind of unusual for the Swans to have back-to-back losses. It hasn't happened for over a year. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want it to be 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but I think we're 1 game ahead of where we were last year, so that's a positive sign for us, and we know there's a lot of improvement left, so that's also a good thing that we've got.
Part of the leadership group this year, Luke. What have you been doing to sort of impress on the boys, that aspect of your game?
I think just really driving the group to get better over the pre-season. I really wanted to get the most out of myself, and I guess drive the group with me, and just on game day really stop worrying about just myself. And at times I think as a young bloke you come in and you just want to get a kick in a game, and then it kind of comes to the stage where you kind of look up and really think about what's best for the team and the setups, and really just helping everyone else out there.
Luke, you copped a pretty heavy hit in round 1. Have you felt any after effects of that concussion since?
No, not really. I think I took that week pretty light. I didn't train the Tuesday or the Thursday, and the doc said I was all fine, so we went through all the right medical procedures and stuff like that, so I was all fine after that.
Do you think it would, in hindsight, I mean just in general, it might be better to have taken a week off if you do get a concussion?
At times I think it's up to the individual how they feel. I think some blokes pull up pretty average after a concussion, but I think by Tuesday I was feeling normal. I didn't have any headaches or anything like that. I trained a little bit on Thursday and was feeling fine going into the game, so I guess it's up to the individual and how you feel.
As a midfield group, do you talk about obviously the job that Bernie Vince has done on a lot of players this year? Do you talk about, obviously with Dan Hanbury in amazing form, might go to him, do you guys focus on that? Make sure you're helping Hannahs out at the clearances, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, we do. I think the main thing is we don't just leave it up to Hannahs v Bernie Vince. I think the main thing is we help him out. We let him know he's in for a hard day. And yeah, hopefully Hannahs can get free a bit, and that's the main thing. We don't want to just worry about our own games. We want to look around and help each other out.
You set pretty high standards yourself last year. How do you reckon you're travelling at the moment personally?
Yeah, going okay at the moment. I think, look, last year I had some average games, and this year I started off okay. I think at times I've shown where I was at last year, and it's probably for me, I'm working on the consistency for a whole game. I think at times I've played a really good half and died out, so for me it's about playing the full game.
Some of the older guys like Jared have played under Roosie. Does that kind of give you any insight at all into the way he coaches or what to expect?
I think that's probably about 5 years ago now, so whether Roosie's probably changed his ways, and I guess all we can look at is how they've been playing the last few weeks, and they've been playing really good football. So yeah, yeah, we want to come out and set the tone with our pressure, which we know gets us into the game, and just doing the basics well. That's the best chance we've got of winning is to do those things.
So Luke, the Swans are number 1 clearance team in the competition and number 2 in tackles, I think. So are these the type of numbers that you like to see, considering the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it is. I think it's great to get really good use out of the middle, and we want to get deep entries and not just little scrubbers along the ground. So we've been working on that, staying composed under the pressure, and we know really our game stems from our tackling and our pressure, and in our forward half especially. And if we get that right, then we know the rest of the game flows from there. Our offence flows from there, and our ball use flows from there. So that's the main thing we get right, and we hit our 1% target, and the rest of the game flows from there.
Melbourne probably took a bit of a step back last weekend against Fremantle. Was that because they were so good, or is there anything that you saw about the Demons that you might be able to exploit from that performance?
I think just the pressure of Freo. We know they're such a great defensive team, and they really work together, and that's the thing. They're not running around worrying about their own backyard. They really help out the whole team, and the back line works as a whole six, and just on the turnovers, they're really good, and they use the ball really well. So if you're looking at that, it's probably up to our pressure and getting turnovers early.
Luke, a couple of selection dilemmas with Sam and Isaac possibly returning. Do you know how they're travelling?
Yeah, I think they're both training today, so I think it's really good at the moment. There's probably 26 blokes who can easily slot into the team, and it's probably disappointing for the blokes that do miss out, but for the club, it's a positive sign.
What did you make of Tom Mitchell's return last week? Obviously, there's always a lot of hype about him, but good to see him come in and play well.
Yeah, definitely. He's such a hard inside midfielder. He lays a lot of tackles and finds a footy, and it was really good to see. He could just step into the senior side and do it again, as we've seen before.
And good to see as well. Did you like his game?
Yeah, you could see he was a lot more up and about, and you see his fitness has picked up, and just his game awareness. I think he ended up with 2 goals, so he was back to some good form, and hopefully we can see him out there this week.
Have you noticed any extra attention on yourself on field from opposition taggers or anything this year?
A little bit here and there, but I kind of expected that. I think I'm a pretty one-on-one player anyway, so most of the time I'm on someone around stoppages anyway, so really it strips it back to a one-on-one game if you're getting tagged or if you're still just finding an opponent. So it's pretty basic for me. I don't try to confuse things and overthink things out there.